I'm Gus Johnson, and I'm the project manager for the Hood Canal Salmon Enhancement Group. Today we're here in Quilcene, Washington, down in Moon Valley, on the banks of the Big Quilcene River. Here in Moon Valley, we have a large-scale restoration project planned where we're hoping to restore the Big Quilcene River's access to its historic floodplain here in the valley.
Historically, the Big Quilcene River used to wind its way through the large floodplain in Moon Valley. Salmon habitat was abundant in the river from the valley all the way to its estuary, where it entered Quilcene Bay. Floodwaters from the rugged and mountainous headwaters would spread out across the valley, and as the flow velocities decreased, much of the sediment suspended in these flows would be deposited. In the early 1900s, the river was channelized and artificially confined to the far side of the valley in order to create a couple hundred acres of agricultural land. This new channel takes a straight and direct path through the margin of the valley and disconnects the river from its floodplain. Floodwaters that once spread out and slowed down across the floodplain now accelerate through Moon Valley, scouring out the riverbed and adding to its sediment load. This massive amount of sediment makes its way down to the lowest reach of the river, where it causes a multitude of problems. The river estuary has filled in, and a delta cone now extends into Quilcene Bay. With each flood event, the riverbed in the lower reach continues to erode, and in many places the riverbed is now higher than the surrounding area. This creates significant flood risks, and the high water table has made many houses in the area uninhabitable. Scouring of the riverbed in Moon Valley also washes away the gravels that adult salmon need to spawn, and the straight and narrow channel is devoid of features that create habitat for juvenile salmon. Once a vibrant stronghold for a number of salmon species, including the ESA-listed Hood Canal summer chum, Moon Valley is now a barren section of river. For over 100 years, these adverse conditions have existed in Moon Valley, and the resulting issues have continued to spread downstream. The Hood Canal Salmon Enhancement Group's large-scale restoration project planned for Moon Valley aims to restore the Big Quilcene River's access to its historic floodplain, and by doing so, resolve all the issues that have plagued the river for so long. In order to bring the river back to its historic floodplain, a new sinuous channel will be excavated. This channel will wind its way through the floodplain, much as it once did, and measure over 2,000 feet longer than its existing channel. By lengthening the channel, raising the elevation of the riverbed, and adding mini log jams, the river will once again be able to interact with its floodplain during high flows. Instead of being scoured and transported downstream, sediments will be deposited in the valley. Quality spawning and rearing habitat will be created, and populations of salmon, including the ESA-listed Hood Canal summer chum, will rise dramatically in the Big Quilcene River. The Moon Valley restoration footprint extends over 80 acres of historic floodplain. 3 parcels make up this area and must be acquired for restoration activities to take place. The 22-acre upstream parcel was acquired in 2018, and Hood Canal Salmon Enhancement Group has been working to remove all existing structures and utilities from the property and restore it to a more natural state. So far, 2 houses have been removed from the property and relocated nearby in the town of Quilcene. These will provide housing opportunities in a community where there is a severe shortage of available options. The remaining structures are scheduled to be removed by May of 2021. We are currently in final negotiations for a 39-acre parcel immediately downstream of our recent acquisition. We expect to purchase this parcel within the next 6 months. The parcel at the downstream end of the valley will be our final acquisition, and we are currently seeking funding to allow for its purchase. A preliminary restoration design has been developed, and work on a final design will begin once acquisitions have been completed.
Hi there, I'm Mindy Harlow, the Executive Director of the Hood Canal Salmon Enhancement Group. We are standing in the lower 1 mile reach of the Big Quilcene River. And this spot right here is a place where we did a 5-acre estuary restoration project back in 2014. This reach of the river is severely constrained by levees and road infrastructure. These constraints are compounded by the conditions in the Moon Valley Reach. Excess sediment is transported downstream and deposited in the lower 1 mile, resulting in a riverbed that is now higher than the land outside of the levees. Frequently, high flow events result in the flooding of homes to the north and south of the river. Our work here in the future will allow for the Big Quilcene River to access the north floodplain. Here we are, late fall of 2020. And we wanted to give you an update on our Lower Big Quilcene project as we have reached many critical milestones and accomplished a lot of great things over the past 2 years. These milestone completions and accomplishments would not have been possible without your support in the legislature for habitat restoration programs such as the Estuary and Salmon Restoration Program, the Salmon Recovery Funding Board, and Floodplains by Design. The Hood Canal Salmon Enhancement Group worked with the Nature Conservancy to meet community stakeholders and develop project goals back in 2014. From those meetings, 6 project goals were developed. The project must benefit the local economy, improve safe public access to resources, be compatible with shellfish resources, provide educational opportunities for local schools, tourists, and community members, restore habitat, and reduce flood risk. After we developed the project goals, we worked to acquire Salmon Recovery Funding Board dollars, and with those funds developed 3 conceptual design alternatives and brought a stakeholder group together that included community members as well as state, local, and federal governments, commercial shellfish interests, and the tribes. In 2015 and 2016, we gathered feedback on the 3 alternatives, which resulted in the development of a preferred alternative. Elements of this preferred alternative include removal of the Linger Longer Road and Bridge, removal of the North Levee while leaving the South Levee in place, removal of Fremont Street, and construction of a new Rogers Street Bridge and roadway to the south of the Big Quilcene River. After developing the preferred alternative, we continued our work with Jefferson County on acquiring properties in the project area. A few high-priority parcels have recently closed, and currently we are completing appraisals and due diligence on the 2 parcels that are critical to the Rogers Street realignment. Once these acquisitions are complete, we will be able to complete preliminary design.